So, I wasn't actually planning on jumping back into the spicy anime pile so soon after doing the Ray Ray video, literally the next video. But in doing the Ray Ray video, I kind of was reminded of another little pink pineapple classic from around the same time. So today we're going to be looking at Angel of Darkness, episode 1. All right, we'll get into it on the other side of the title card. See you guys there. Well, hello, and welcome to Trash with a Capital T, where we give trashy books and movies the love they truly deserve. And some deserve more than others. I'm your host, Bobby. New videos are posted every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you like what you see during the video, give me a like. Makes me feel good, and it helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, subscribe. I cover a ton of crazy stuff. So today, yes, we are jumping back into hentai territory from around the same time. And it stemmed from the Ray Ray video because when I was doing the Ray Ray video, I pulled up my disc to watch the show. And that means I had to pull out what is called the hentai binder. Yes, I have a hentai binder. This is full. This started because when you were a young anime fan, back when everything was on DVD and VHS, and people would get you anime as a gift because they thought it would be cool. Sometimes, if they didn't look too closely at the packaging, or at the packaging at all, really, they would accidentally buy you hentai. And that happened to me a couple times. There was one Christmas I got a ton. I was an adult at the time, so it actually might have been intentional. But, yeah. So, over time, the binder has filled. And I have watched most of the shows that are in here. Not ashamed to admit that. I own them. I might as well watch them. And some of them are actually quite interesting to talk about. And the one that we are talking about today is actually not in the binder, because when I pulled out the binder, I also had to pull out a stack of old VHS. And that is where I found this bad boy. Angel of Darkness, episode 1. We're really going to focus on episode 1 today, but just to give you guys some idea of what the show is. Angel of Darkness is a franchise from Pink Pineapple. The anime series, it's 4 episodes long, came out in 1994. There were also a series of 5 live-action films that were released in English by Right Stuff many, many moons ago. I think they're out of print, but if you hunt around, you should be able to find them. The live-action movies are their own video. They are special in a way I was not ready for, because they actually start lampooning horror films as you go, like The Exorcist, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Omen. It gets really crazy. The anime series is a little more straightforward, although this one is anything but straight, and we will talk about that because that's one of the reasons I love it. But it still has tons of B-movie atmosphere. So this one does have tentacles. It's from 1994, and it's a horror anime. It's going to have tentacles. That is just the nature of the tentacled beast at this point. But as far as these types of shows go, it is actually quite mild. This one is, again, like Ray Ray, not too much further past R-rated. And this specific edition that I have here is the R-rated cut. It's the general release cut. I kind of explained in the Ray Ray video what that means, but basically ADV, under their SoftCel label, would do 2 cuts of a show that they would release. They would do a general release that would go to Suncoast. That was this one, which is on a white tape. And this would have some of the scenes trimmed down, or like a frame just kind of shifted to make things generally acceptable. You're not seeing anything worse than you would see in a Roger Corman movie from the 1980s. The uncut release usually included slightly more explicit material, or in the case of some shows, a good deal more explicit material. This one is the same length as the uncut version. And so it really was just like some slight trimming and reframing. It was maybe a couple seconds shaved off. I've seen the uncut version. It's almost entirely the same thing. And you didn't lose any major plot points or story points. But if you are interested in ever buying Angel of Darkness, just be aware, if you're getting the VHS, double check what version it is. For me personally, I actually sought out the general release version. That is the first version that I saw. So when I bought this years ago, I wanted to get the version that I remembered. There are DVD releases from SoftCel that came out in the early 2000s. Those have been out of print for a long time. They are very, very, very hard to find, especially the first DVD, which includes episodes 1 and 2. So your best bet for this one is to hunt around online. There are plenty of probably tube sites that have this up. Also, VHS. If you have the ability to play them, this one's actually not that hard to find. And I think I got this for like $20. And I think the prices stick at around $20 for this one, if you go to sites like Mercury and some others like that. Okay, so let's get into the show itself. And why do I love this show? So this episode specifically, actually, the overall series I am okay with, but this episode I actually genuinely was shocked that I enjoyed so much. So the general plot is there is a women's academy. Professor there, one of the few men on the grounds, uncovers this ancient evil that possesses him, and he starts to use his magical, horrifying tentacle powers to control the female students. And it is up to Atsuko and Sayaka to stop him and save the school and essentially the world. Namely, it's Atsuko. And I don't know if you... So our main couple, Atsuko and Sayaka. I'm going to screw their names up so many times. I am so sorry. Atsuko and Sayaka are both women. Yeah, we have a lesbian couple at the center of this. And, well, normally I would be like, yeah, it's definitely a male gaze lesbian kind of couple. And it does get there a little bit. They're played as being truly in love. I think Atsuko actually introduces Sayaka as the love of her life. And their love is the driving force for Atsuko to fight the monster that has taken over this professor and to try and save everyone. And it is portrayed as this positive, bright light in the middle of the darkness. And there's all this other campy stuff going around it too, because when the evil entity is released, all of these woodland nymphs and fairies come out of the woodwork to try and stop it, and they have to work with Atsuko. And at one point, they all meld, and Atsuko hulks out to fight the demon, and it is just B-movie wonderfulness. Now, this also doesn't have a dub. So if you do not like subtitles, you're SOL. This does not have a dub. It is only in Japanese with English subtitles. SoftCel dubbed some of their titles early on, but instead of getting different voice actors to do those titles, they went to their normal pool of voice actors. And from what I heard through the grapevine, eventually they were just like, we don't want to dub these kinds of shows anymore. Then I get it. It's not, I can't imagine it would be all that fun to have to dub a sex scene. I don't know if you are a voice actor out there who has had to do dub work for some spicy anime, drop a note in the comments and let me know what the experience was like. Was it fun? Was it bad? Because there are some interesting dubs out there in hentai land. This one, sadly, no dub. And the DVD release did not get a dub. Because SoftCel didn't go back. They really just kind of dumped them on DVD and sent them out once they started moving their catalog over. SoftCel was kind of on the way out at that point anyways. They had lost the rights to some of their other bigger shows, which was sad for me because End of Summer, which was a 4-episode series based off of, I'm going to butcher this name, Dokyusei, which is actually, there's an English version of the game that is based off of out now. You can play it on the Switch. They lost the rights to that one and a couple other ones that are actually quite fun. But this one I love because of the way it kind of doesn't want to just be a dirty movie. It wants to be a horror movie. It wants to be a B movie. It definitely shows its influences on its sleeve. It feels very B-movie coded. The Japanese B-movie market is gigantic. They love B-movies, or they did in the 90s at least. So you feel that love in the production here. It's not a shiny, glossy show. The color palette is definitely on the muted and more realistic side. The character designs are more tall. They're a little tall and sinewy, but they're also a little on the more realistic side body type wise. It has this very grounded look and feel. The horror elements are very much played forward, and you get a lot of good, creepy, gothic vibes. And at the center of all of this, you have this great queer love story between two young women who are just trying to make things work as they figure out their lives before going out into the real world. And that love story is also part of the reason I love this so much, because it's played so straight. It's played so wonderful. Well, not straight. It's anything but straight. But it's played so wonderfully true. It's not done to be sleazy. These two are genuinely in love with each other. And I know I'm playing this up. It's a 45-minute episode. There's not a lot of depth here. But for what you're getting, it's surprisingly heartfelt. Whoever wrote this, you could tell enjoyed writing it and enjoyed the characters. It is very fun and very playful and very goofy. It does not try and be shocking and horrific. It really does feel like a slightly more spicy popcorn flick, or something you would grab on the rental shelf for your friends for the weekend. Just nudged up a little bit. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. If you can hunt down a way to watch it, at least for the first episode, I highly recommend it. Sadly, a lot of the queer themes and all of the stuff that I'm gushing about slowly starts to fade out of the show as you go through the episodes. Episode 2 is basically just a straight retread of this, but straight. So you replace our central lesbian couple with a heterosexual couple. Otherwise, it's not too great. The third episode isn't bad. It's a revenge story. So the demon, when it hibernates, it becomes a plant. And a young woman at a school finds the plant and she uses it to take revenge out on the mean girls at her school. And that one is definitely more fun and plays into the morality tale a little more. And I enjoyed that one. The fourth one, I've watched it. I could not tell you anything about the plot other than the person who kind of gets taken over by the demon this time is a female teacher. And there's rhythmic gymnastics. And the character designs are very shiny and very 90s. But I don't remember. I remember being bored, to be honest. Maybe I'll give it a rewatch at some point. I do plan on kind of watching 2, 3, and 4 because I have them, so I might as well. I'll do videos on those later. You won't be seeing that next week. Next week will be something completely different. I promise. All right. I will say, spicy anime or hentai or whatever I'm allowed to call it, I don't know. We'll find out. Will be returning at some point. If you saw the title or the thumbnail for Ray Ray, and this one, if you notice in the corner, it says Spicy Cells. So that is the playlist that these are going to be put under, but that is also the series that these are under. I'm trying to develop some series on the channel that, while not done regularly, can kind of be built out. So I have a focus. So you will be seeing more. Also because, oh Jesus, this is heavy. I got a binder full of stuff to watch. And while I'm not going to cover all of it, because some of it I never want to watch again, some of it is not worth really talking about. Some of it is surprisingly worth talking about, whether that be good or bad. Also, there's plenty of stuff that I haven't seen that I guess I should see. Although for my mental health, I'm probably going to skip some of them, like Night Shift Nurses. I think I have to be really ready for that one. But, we'll get to it if we get to it. Okay, so general housekeeping. New videos are posted every Sunday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you like what you saw during the video, give me a like. It makes me feel good and it helps the channel. And if you like my content, as weird as it is, subscribe. I can always use more subscribers. And as I always say, and hopefully I say correctly, love what you love, enjoy what you're reading and watching, and have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.